welcome to your summer course. And today's lecture, this video is going to be about how to use library resources to conduct research and to help you find some articles and all the different platforms that you can use for that. So I'm starting us off just on the basic CSU page in case you're not sure of how to navigate the computer to get to the place that you need to get to in order to acquire the articles. So the first thing you're going to do is to scroll down to the library homepage. And this is going to pop up Michael Schwartz Library. And so as you'll see, there are a variety of different places where you can search in the library to find information. Now before we start doing the search process, one thing that I want to show you is in the Ask Your Personal Librarian section. And if you go about halfway down, you'll see a photo for Fran Mensch. Fran is our social work librarian, and Fran has a wealth of knowledge on how to find articles, specifically in social work, and she can help you with any kind of research process that you need. She's going to be one of your biggest assets in this program. And normally, if you were taking this class in person, you would have an opportunity to meet with her, and she would be going through most of this with you as well. However, at least you have some of her information, like her email address, in order to contact her. Now you can set up to make an appointment with her, and all you do is click that button and it tells you what she has available on all these different dates. So you can make an appointment with her that way or through her email. She's very responsive. So please, please, please feel free to contact Fran as you need to. Now if we go back to the library homepage, there's a couple of things that I want to show you on here. Now the first one is this section called OneSearch. And the beauty of OneSearch is that it really allows for you to be able to search anything into it. Now I haven't logged in yet for the day and I'm not on campus, so this is what your login is going to look like most of the time. So I'm just going to search for social work in this box. So if I go and search, it's going to ask me for my information and for my PIN. And if you don't have a PIN, you would create a PIN through this click button, and that's what you would use here. It's not the same as your password. And so once I submit, it takes me to our database. OneSearch, if you look up here, OneSearch lets you look in absolutely everything that the library has. And it connects you to other libraries that are linked to CSU, where we have the ability to have an interlibrary loan. And so you can see some of those items that are available at other libraries through here. So this would be an example of something you would have to request to look at through OhioLink. So in here, in the OneSearch, you can have a basic search, which is where you're searching this one term. But as you see, it comes up with 2 million results. Now that's a lot of results for you to be looking at. So you might want to add a more advanced search. And what this is that this allows you to add in more key terms, whether or not it is the author, the title, or just something that's a subject. You don't have to select any of these, at least in your first initial search, to find something on that topic. So let's say I'm a clinician and I want to know about treating somebody with an opioid addiction and I want to know how to treat them with cognitive behavioral therapy. If I hit search, it's going to give me information. It's also going to tell me that I spelled opioid wrong. And it's going to give me some information on the different cognitive behavioral therapy treatment that is out there. So you can access all these articles, and some will come up very easily with full text. You click on it and it gives you the PDF version of it. Some of them, however, you might have to find it, which means that it is somewhere. It's just not necessarily on the place where you would think it is. So all you have to do though is click on whatever link pops up. And I would say 9 out of 10 times you're then able to access it from another website. So if I go back here, a couple of things that are important for you to think about depending upon what your instructor, whether or not it's me or somebody else, is looking for. One might be that you really want to look for peer-reviewed journals if you're looking at journal articles. These are ones that have gone through a process where other people have looked at the articles and have determined the quality of the writing and the analysis of the data is sufficient enough to where it should be published. Now, if we look here, we see we're at about 1,800, and let's see what happens when we click that button. It's dropped us down to about 1,200, and these articles then are ones that can be used in any paper that you are writing for any class. Based upon the rigor of it, all of your instructors would prefer for you to have peer-reviewed scholarly articles. Something else you should keep in mind though is that the publication date can vary, and so in this pool of research it looks like they started as early as 1991. And that there have been some articles probably that have been published like this one in 2017. Now, while articles from 1991 are important, not every article from 1991 is relevant now. And in fact, while an article might cite something from 1991, that should be pretty few and far between. So you always want to have a 10-year difference in time for your publication date. So if we look again, we're at about 1,200. Let's see what happens when we go from 2007 to 2017. So we're now at 1,000. For this class, and for the purpose of most classes, I would recommend searching within the last 10 years. So I'm going to have us go back to a few pages ago before we started doing all of our searching. And I'm going to show you another way that you can go about getting this material. You can search under the research databases. And under here, all of these, when you do the one search, it gives you information about all of these different databases, and so it searches in all of them. Now, some are better than others, like in, let's see, in Art Store, you see that there's information on architecture, painting, sculpture, photography, and you're not going to find anything on social work in there. But some other ones, you can find information on social work. So for instance, you can find information in EBSCOhost, and this is one of the biggest search engines. So if I click on EBSCOhost, it's going to show you all of these different sub-databases that I can search in. Some good ones in here for you to use include, let's get down to them. social work abstracts, um, social sciences full text, Soc Index, and then there's also all the psychology ones, Psych Info, um, Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection, and those are all going to have content on topics that are within social work. You will find more information under Psych Info than you're going to find under social work abstracts. This is a much smaller database set. So if you go this way, you might have to do a little bit more digging than you would have to do if you did the one search. Now let's say you know the article. You can always put in the article's title in here and it pulls it up. Let's say you know the journal, you can always put in information about the journal in there. You can also search journals that we have at Cleveland State by going through the disciplines and going to the various journals. You can also search under social work, under the research guides, by clicking on the social work button, and this sends you to the social work research guide homepage. This gives you lots of information about some of the different articles that you might be able to look up, books that have been published. The Encyclopedia of Social Work is perhaps something you've used before. It tells you about plagiarism and what plagiarism means. It also teaches you how to cite your APA format, and anything you turn in this class needs to be in APA format. So if you don't know what it is, I would really recommend looking in here. Let's see if there's anything else in here that I should tell you about. If you want a place to keep a hold of your citations, you used to be able to do RefWorks. However, we're not using that anymore, although you will be able to use this throughout most of the duration of the class. There are other resources that you could use, like Cite This For Me, and I think Zotero is another one, and you can use them to house all of your resources. The last thing that I want to show you for doing research, and it's perhaps not the best way to do research, is by doing Google Scholar. So you can either type in scholar.google.com, as I did, or if you wanted to just search Google Scholar, it will pop up as well. It's basically Google with the search engine of articles. So again, if I want to look up the opioid addiction, cognitive behavioral therapy, it'll give me some ideas of articles that I could use to do some of this research. Now some of them I'll be able to access. As I'm able to access this and I can download the PDF. Or it'll at least give me some titles that I might be able to use when searching on the CSU homepage. So these are going to be your two best ways to do any of your research. And same thing, you can sort by a certain date that you want to look at. You can say whether or not you want citations. And so this is a little bit simpler, less comprehensive, but is still a good way to do your research.